Good evening, or I should say good morning. This is Chris Hale again. It's been a while since I've spoken to anyone here on YouTube, but I made a new friend tonight in my efforts to heal from my time as being one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and it has truly been a struggle, and it seems like tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning, it seems to be one of those nights I'm having a real struggle. Missing my mother, missing my dad, missing, a few friends. I really didn't have a lot of friends growing up in the truth because there was a lot of fakery going on, if you will. A lot of judgments being passed about people, whether or not you were doing things that you should be doing or not be doing. And I never really was one of those guys that play into that, and so I didn't really have a lot of really close friendships, but I had a few, and those guys are gone in terms of me having friendships with them, and it's been a struggle for a number of years trying to make new friends outside the organization and trying to hold fast to your convictions, knowing that the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses is classically defined as a cult by definition. I have decided to write a book. I'm going to write a book. It's going to be titled Disfellowshipped. Not sure exactly what the subtitle will be, but the main idea and characterization of the book will be maybe one or two chapters describing my youth, my childhood as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and the trauma that I had to suffer, some of the highs and the lows. And I don't want to focus too much on the negative. I'm not going to talk a lot about doctrine because I think the internet is full of places you can research and find out about Jehovah's Witnesses doctrine, how they've changed over the years, and how they've made some even recent dynamic changes. And you can get all that information off the internet. But I want to talk about my life, my history, just briefly. I want to talk about some of the things that caused me to really reevaluate where I am in this organization, what's going on, and do I really want to stay. And then some of the triumphs I've experienced getting out, I should say being forced out, as well as some of the people along the way that have helped me see a better way. Now, with that being said, I am openly going to say I am definitely, most definitely in a place of transition right now, and with some recent revelations about how the organization seems to provide some sort of refuge for child molesters. You can't really say that that's not typical to just about every religious organization. I think every religious organization out there has had some issues with child abuse and molestation, and even high divorce rates. But Jehovah's Witnesses have been very vocal in saying how though they have really been immune to those kinds of problems. And a recent letter that I got a hold of showed to what lengths they will go to help maintain that sterling kind of a reputation, if you will, even if it's a lie. And I will say, for example, myself was somewhat a victim of that kind of abuse, although not at the hands of another one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but at the hands of a family member. And I will tell you this, that the way the organization handles sex abuse cases certainly makes it difficult for a victim to get the kind of assistance that they need. If the Jehovah's Witness organization does not recognize state laws and federal laws in terms of how child abuse cases should be handled, and instead refer them to the local branch office or headquarters, who knows who is reviewing that information? Are they highly trained psychiatrists? Are they highly trained social scientists? Are they lawyers trained in sex abuse cases? Who knows? Whatever the case may be, I get the feeling it's not being handled that way. So, I divert a little bit from what my initial message was here I planned for tonight, but I'll just go ahead with that. I'm a research junkie. I love to spend time on the internet researching things. Even in my business and in my job, research has aided me greatly in terms of being able to understand unique business problems that my customers have, being able to develop some good business plans and understand what the markets are doing. So I've applied those same types of techniques to understanding a little bit about Jehovah's Witnesses, who they are, where they're going, what the background is, and I will tell you, it's simply amazing what you can find. Wikipedia is probably my favorite resource because it's contributed by many people who are very interested in providing scholarly works, are very interested in providing truth in history, and just the revelation of where this organization came from is quite amazing. And you can pretty much find out anything you need or anything you want on the internet. Excuse me, I'm drinking a smoothie. It's so good. So what I really want to talk a little bit about, and I'm not going to put up numbers and specifics because, like I said, Wikipedia, go to Wikipedia and just search Jehovah's Witnesses, or go on to google.com or bing.com and do a simple text search, and you can find out, for example, the extensive financial holdings of Jehovah's Witnesses. And what I find so amazing is this phrase they use, contributing to the worldwide work. And Jehovah's Witnesses in the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society use that as a means to get Jehovah's Witnesses and any of those associated with Jehovah's Witnesses to contribute monthly money, weekly, daily, monthly, or whatever, to the worldwide work, which is basically the preaching effort, and could be many subcategories under that. Here's what I say to that. Stop contributing to the worldwide work. And the reason I say this is this organization is extremely rich. Land holdings, property holdings in New York, in Pennsylvania, and untold other locations all around the world, kingdom halls, assembly halls, branch locations. There's millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars that are coming into this organization on a yearly basis, that are being used for whatever means, that are invested in various places for the enrichment of that organization. Whether or not it's lining individual governing body pockets, I can't say. I don't have any proof of that, neither do I really care. But what I look at is, I look at the things the organization does not do. For years I was taught to look down upon organizations that, it's Christmas time, Thanksgiving time, would go out and they would give turkeys to people in the street who didn't have a place to stay or food to eat. Or we were trained to look down upon other Christian religions that took an active part, if not a few times a year, in feeding homeless people or feeding hungry people. And I gotta tell you, I don't feel the same way. I am impressed. I find that those kind of social services are what the world needs. So if you are hungry and you don't have a place to live, or it's cold on the street and it's raining, and you're approached by one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I ask you, I implore you, I challenge you to ask them for $1, or ask for a sandwich. Ask for anything. Of course, if you're in true desperate need, there are, governmental resources out there. But Jehovah's Witnesses really, it's not the people necessarily. It's the organization's practice. It's the ways and means that they use to indoctrinate people to do things that they want them to do, even though their conscience and their emotional intelligence may tell them to do the right thing, something different. So going back to what I was saying earlier, I challenge you to be in a desperate situation, approach one of Jehovah's Witnesses on the street, and say, hey, look, man, I'm hungry, I need $2, $3, can you buy me a sandwich? You might get that, a normal man's response, sure, I'll do that. But in most cases, what you're going to get is a Watchtower Awake magazine, or an invitation to partake of the real water, the real food that comes from God's Word, the Bible. Come to the Kingdom Hall. Read this material here, because what's greater than getting food today is having everlasting life, and blah, blah, blah. And I have given money to people many times on the street when I see that someone was in need. And I can tell you this: if I was hungry, broke, or cold, and living on the street and had nothing, was that in that desperate situation, and one of Jehovah's Witnesses gave me a magazine, I would shove it up their behind. I would be highly offended. Not anything that I could eat. There's no nutrition to be found in processed or printed paper. So again, my point is, stop contributing to the worldwide work. This organization is incredibly rich and wealthy. They don't need anyone else contributing to their coffers. So that was really the message I wanted to point out. Just some of the research I did really made my stomach turn. In terms of seeing how rich this organization is, and seeing and knowing how many people struggle financially to pay their bills and feed their families. And I think at the very least, yeah, this organization is probably never going to celebrate Christmas, and I understand that. I get that. I know Jesus Christ wasn't born on December 21st, 25th. But why not make an effort to reach out into the community and do some good besides walking around trying to give people your magazines and trying to get people to take a free Bible study? So, I don't know. I think that's pretty much the end of the story I wanted to tell tonight. I will be writing a book, and I think it's not about it becoming a bestseller, or it's not even about it being published and being on, about making money. It's about telling my story and helping people realize it is a desperate situation, but it's not the end of the world, and that's the critical part to understand. Because I lay in my bed right now. I'm on business travel. I've been gone for weeks at end. I'm in another city. I have a couple friends here, and I've reached out to them, and they've denied me the opportunity to socialize with my friends because I'm disfellowshipped. And I'm never going back to the truth, never going back to this organization. And I really want people to know that there can be a good life outside being in that organization, a part of that cult. I'm still struggling to find it, but I will tell you that every day my peace is incremental. It gets better every single day. But I have to talk about the sadness that's attracted, that's a part of being shunned, that's a part of being removed from the very sustenance of life, which is social interaction with family and with friends that you've grown up with. It's disgusting. It's horrible. It's horrid. It's demeaning. It's an incredible control mechanism. I would compare Jehovah's Witnesses policy, not the people necessarily, on par with Jim Jones and his cultish activities and other horrible religious factions, that cause strife amongst mankind. I mean, religion is the core of strife. And yeah, I think in the very beginning, the organization under Rutherford and Russell, I think they had the right idea, and things went, haywire when they realized that they could use organizational structure to control members and get what they want out of that. I never want to belong to organized religion again, ever. It's never going to happen. I'm still struggling to find my own spirituality. My childhood was shaken by becoming one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I was forced into it. I remember the day I got baptized. It may have been a great thing for them, but it wasn't a great thing for me because I did it out of peer pressure. And I had my childhood, just stolen from me by a meaningless set of tasks I had to repeat every week in order to keep peace in my own household and to try to fit in with this organization. And at my age, I just have some struggles. And to all those people out there, I've read many articles and watched many YouTube videos of people that are struggling with should they stay in or should they leave. And I can identify with the desire to just stay. And because your friends are there, your family is there, but you can't get out. And I'm here to tell you that leaving is hard as hell. And I will tell you that there have been some times when, you know, I wanted to go back to the Kingdom Hall just to feel like I fit. Don't do it. Alright, so that's probably enough for now. I think I'll sign off of this thing and try to get myself some sleep. Y'all have a good night.